Alright, guys, welcome to another night of NGS. Tonight we have Disturbance versus, I'm calling him Winky Face. Um, Lobby is just getting formed up here. As soon as we get into the game and the draft, I will let you know. But in the meantime, enjoy a nice waiting screen and some house music. and a little sparring going on in the chat between them. Um, Wraithling calling them out, asking if they wanted that. We'll see where they go with the first pick. Waiting to see here. And they first pick Chromie. Interesting pick. Chromie still very hot in the meta. I'm excited to see that we have a lot of points where they have to come together. They have to fight. This where they go with their picks now on Disturbance to counter the Chromie. Do you go with a spell damage reduction tank like an Anub? They go Malfurion and Junkrat. A lot of poke from Junkrat. Malfurion, one of the hottest healers in the league today. HGC, him and Stukov are constantly either first pick, first ban. They're the two hottest right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a Stukov actually out of Winky Face here. They if they have a Stukov player, we'll have to see about that. But a lot of poke from the Junkrat, a lot of sustained damage. I've been playing a lot of Junkrat myself lately, and you'd be surprised how the damage adds up on the Junkrat, even at a distance. So we'll see where it goes from here. Like I said, I expect maybe a Stukov, a healer type, and probably a tank, maybe an offlaner. There's the Stukov and the Thrall. There's a possible offlaner. Thrall, not as great of an offlaner as he used to be. If you go the lightning build, you want to jump as many times as you can between heroes to stack that as quick as you can. So you want to group them up. So you want to be in that mid lane fight. You want to be where all the action is. Disturbance looking ahead. They're banning out a tank. They don't want to. They're hovering over the ETC right now. Do they get rid of him and take him out of the game? I don't see why not. It looks like there's going to be quite the choke on tanks and warriors going in here. ETC ban coming, potentially. Probably wondering if they ban ETC, what is Winky Face going to ban? What are they going to take? But Disturbance does have the first two picks coming back in the next round, so they will get a shot at getting their warrior first before Winky Face does. Excuse me, getting a little water. So where do they ban? The Hanzo's still in. Hanzo's still a very strong hero right now. There's still a Grey main out there. They banned the Jaina. They don't want another ranged hero to come at them the same way their Chromie's plan to come against Disturbance. So now the pick turns back to Disturbance. I'm expecting a tank here of some kind. Do they go something like the Anub, who has the spell armor, a little get out card? But that Stukov makes it difficult, because normally with the Anub you come in, you get your stun, but you can dive out with your get out of jail free burrow. But if Stukov lands that silence and they get a Thrall with a stun on, he can really do some damage. So they're going to go Beefcake and that Anub that I was talking about. We'll see where that goes. But Muradin, a Beefcake type of a warrior, real bruiser out there. Anub with a lot of crowd control, and that, again, that spell armor to help him sustain against that Chromie damage and the Thrall damage, because that lightning damage is a lot of spell damage being thrown around, and we'll see where that ends up. So with that, I'm not sure where Winky Face is going, if they're going to keep the Thrall in the top lane like he's used to being played, or if they're going to go double tank here, or even a single tank and another damage. Not quite sure. Interesting to see where they're going. 20 seconds left on the clock, but tanks here. Varian is very strong right now with his heroic being down at level 4, especially with the Stukov. A taunt at level 4 into a lurking arm silence with a Thrall and a Chromie is almost a guarantee kill, in my opinion, with that quick burst. But they go with the Blaze, so there's our offlaner, and a Leoric, another offlane type tank. We don't have our traditional frontline tank like the Diablo, the ETC, the Muradin, the Anubis. We're not getting that, and part of that is that choke that was put on. I think a variant would have been good. I saw some yesterday as well. It really does well with the Stukov, that taunt, charge and taunt, lurking arm. Can't go anywhere. Chromie with that burst damage could have really done some damage, but Blaze is still a phenomenal hero. It can really do some work. Leoric is so underrated in my opinion, especially if this game goes late to level 20, which a lot of Towers of Doom games does. that Entomb with the silence can really do some damage. So we have silence on silence with stuns with Blaze, and Chromie just raining down with Dragon's Breath. It can really put out damage. So where is that counter? Where is that damage coming from? And they get the Lunara. I'm not sure about the Lunara pick. Generally, you pick Lunara into like an Uther who relies on burst heal to counter burst damage. Lunara's a sustain, want to fight, want to do damage over time, and Stukov does very well against that. So, and her range is good, but it's not as good as a Chromie. It's going to be an interesting battle back and forth with Lunara. I'm not sold on that pick yet. We'll have to see where it goes with Disturbance. But with that, we're hopping into the game. And we'll get started here in just a second as Towers of Doom loads up. The Raven Lord and the Gravekeeper. If you watched some of the PAX East release, you know they're going into the lore battle with the Nexus, and the Raven Lord was one of the ones talked about. So interesting to see where that's going to go. But we're loading in here in just a second. So, as soon as the game loads up, we'll switch over to our in-game screen. But right now, everybody's taking their time getting in. And it looks like here we go.
Prepare yourself for battle, heroes.
Alright. Let's pull up our talents here. Chromie with the Time Walker's Pursuit standard. She'll probably rotate between that mid and bot lane trying to get those globes to stack up. Thrall is going that Crash Lightning build. So popular, still very strong. Looks like lurking or growing infestation can increase that science range on the Stukov. Longer stim pack on Blaze, and the consume vitality on him. And we're off. Looks like all five heading down mid, both sides. That reveal by Chromie showing exactly where everybody is. Let's see how quickly Chromie can get her stacks up. But that Blaze damage is strong. Oh, in comes the Anub into the root. A lot of poke damage going back and forth, but nobody really taking it. And the big thing is Leoric is in the top lane just having a field day. Just soaking up lane. Some damage. And there is that rotation from mid to bot from Team Winky Face. They're just looking to capture globes and do some damage. Thrall getting his stacks going. He's already at 3. And just instant burst down by that Chromie. Just a couple of lightning bolts, and then Chromie lands her combo, and bye-bye Lunara. Even if Mouth was there, I don't think that Lunara survives that. That's just a ton of damage. And look at this invade. Winky Face knows exactly what they want to do and where they're headed. They have a game plan for this map, and they are executing what they want to do perfectly. And that is one tower down already. They're all soaking in the bottom lane. So, still only at 3 for Thrall. Here comes the rotation back bot. In the top lane, Leoric should dominate against the noob. A noob can't kill the Leoric, and the Leoric has way too much sustain, especially with the consumed vitality that he took at level 1. It's just not going to survive. And so with that, a slight XP lead given to Winky Face. And Chromie at 2 minutes in has 8 of her 15 done for her opening quest. 7 on the Sandblast, and now both at 4 even tiers. Anything out of the ordinary. I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. Leoric going with a push build on minions and mercenaries. Deep roots coming out from the Malfurion. The frags. If Taste for Explosions gets to that 200, I'd be very surprised. I've never seen it myself. So we'll see where that goes. Alright, triple altar phase. Where do we split up? How are we splitting up? Looks like Disturbance is planning for a positioning here for a defense on the bot. Blaze is just doing his best to zone. They took their camp and it's pushing the mid. Leoric is just harassing away the Sanoob. Thrall's taking the top left. Let's see if he rotates over with the Leoric. They could probably get a kill here. It looks like he's coming over. Oh, he's just assuming that Leoric's gonna just dominate with 200 health. Is he coming back in? I'm gotta go bottom. And silence comes out from the Sukov, zoning him out. If I missed the kill top, I apologize, but there's a lot going on. The Blaze is probably... Oh, that Chromie time stop saves the Blaze. And the Thrall is going down low, but just not enough. The Leoric does take the top right bell tower, so that's 2. Now, it was just a stall game, but Disturbance does take bottom bell tower. So, a 2 bell tower to 1. Or 2 altar to 1, I'm sorry, altar to 1. So we'll have to see how they do coming in to the next phase. Experience is about even. Of course, Chromie does have that natural trait. She's ahead of the game here. Looks like she's going the standard build basic attacks at 3 and or 4 in Dragon's Eye. It would be 7. There's level 7 for Winky Face. Again, Blaze going with the oil talents. Lurking arm talents from the Stukov. Gonna be a nightmare as the game continues to go on. Blaze tries to come in to get the Junkrat, just can't land it. So he gets away. Looks like the Lunara now is laning against the Leoric, and he is not having as good of a time as he did against that Anub. He's wishing that Anub came back. So he's trying to get his damage to survive in there, but the Lunara is just zoning him out. Double altar phase here. Call this mid and then bottom. They're going to quickly try to take the camp and put a little pressure into the lane. At the same time, Junkrat's setting up with his traps and his mines all around. They are all here in force. Let's see where it goes. Murden is channeling, and he's going to get it. They're not interrupting that, but at the same time, they realize what's going on, that they win a 5-stack defense, and that Thrall takes bottom, and the Leoric hits very low, but again, that Stukov heal is very strong, and there's the bio switch, and he's back to half health. So Leoric is leaving the bot lane. This is a 5-on-4 right now, and Leo's just going to go split soak. This split soak that the Leoric is giving them an XP lead. They hit level 9, there it is. Slowing sands, taken by the Chromie. And Murden hops out of harm's way there, but still ends up taking the Dragon's Breath, trying to get away. But he hit the well and healed right back up. Lunara is chasing down the Leoric. and just zoning him and bodying him. A noob is coming around on the back with a flank, the burrow in, double stun. Oh, but that Blaze with that great stun to counter. Oh, they got the Frostwolf stun, and Chromie had set up her Dragon's Breath, assuming they were going to be able to keep walking, and I think if they would have walked right into that, they would have died. But instead, they make it out alive. But it's a 4-on-3 here in the bot lane. They're trying to take this bottom tower. If they get that, there it is, level 10. Anything interesting out of here? Blaze with the stun on Lunara. I don't know if they get her, but I don't think they have the chase. Leo's trying. Oh, the Entomb! What a great play! The silence comes out, and bye-bye Lunara. And that is a 5 now on 4 with this mid altar spawning. They're just going to cap that here. Earthquake taken by Thrall, normal, and Bunker taken by Blaze. Level 10 now for Disturbance, and let's see if they take anything out of the ordinary. Leaping Strike by Lunara. Junkrat takes the Rocket Ride. Wow! Was not expecting that. That's a little out of the ordinary. A lot of damage there, but will it get a kill? Stukov being zoned away, and he shoves the wrong direction, but still is able to get away as the Leora comes in. Cocoon given out. Thrall is out of position. He's going to go down. Chromie went down. A lot of damage coming out now from the team, and it's a 5-on-3. Twilight Dream taken by the Muffin. I just wanted to look into that and see what he got. Yeah, the Thrall got cocooned, and he was just, there was no place for him to go. He was done at that point. So with that, level 11. Winky Face though with a large lead on the scoreboard of 32-24. But Towers of Doom is a map that until it says 0, anything can happen. It can so quickly swing one way or another in a triple altar phase. So I never count anybody out until it hits 0 on this map. It's one of the great things about this map, that it can swing either way. Looks like they have their eyes set on the Malfurion. Can they get the kill? I don't think so. I think if they just continue to chase, that's a setup. But it's a 4-on-4 rank. Oh, triple stun by the Blaze. Isolation, silence on the Murden, but he was able to hop out. Roots came down. Junkrat is going to cap the right. Chromie is going to cap the left. Blaze hops in. Not sure if I would have... He slides back in, gets a double stun. Bunker drop down. Rocket Ride coming in. And he lands on the Bunker, just missing the Blaze. Thrall is at 100 XP. Still, oh, but here he goes. A noob trying to get out, but he dies. Stukov is very low. Barely surviving. Lunara somebody wants one more hit. 70, 13, 12. There it is. Lunara ticks down. And with that, again, a 2-for-1 for Disturbance. Their team fight is on point. Rocket Ride to jump into the middle and just cause all kinds of chaos is very interesting. They're taking the boss now. They're looking at this opportunity. The Murden better be careful though. Chromie's poke can do some serious damage. Blaze comes storming in along with Leoric, but he gets stunned. Chromie's getting low, but the Junkrat goes down. Thrall walks into his grenades but survives, takes down the Murden. Earthquake slows down the mouth, and that quickly they turned the boss fight, and now they get the free 4 shots going against Disturbance. So a lot of action, back and forth, a lot of kills. 10 kills in 11 minutes. And now another triple altar phase. 16 on the scoreboard for Disturbance. So they really need to set up for the defense. They're only a level down, no, but they are a talent tier down at the moment. But they just caught up, so they're going to fight on equal footing. Everybody will be back up for this fight. That ice block for Malfurion should help. And giant killer taken by Lunara should help tear through the tanks quicker. Stukov takes to the left. They're zoning Lunara on the right. Thrall trying to sneak in down on that mid lane, but not gonna happen. Is Leoric taking? He took the Ominous Wraith, yeah, so he's going the Wraith build. He's been reading his Reddit posts. He knows how Leoric's strength here at 13 and 16 is. And with that, so that's 2 altar faces for Disturbance, only 1 for Winky Face, but that's okay. They don't need more. They also did take the bell tower bottom. I didn't even see that. So they did get the extra shot, and they have such a large lead that at this point it's just don't take any stupid fights. Don't give up stupid deaths that cause your team to lose a team fight and give them more altars than they should have. So on the bottom lane, Blaze is defending this bell tower against 4, and a noob lands the stun but doesn't chase in. The double stun in from Blaze, and then the root on Lunara, but she leaps out of it. Earthquake gets 4, Rocket Ride coming in. Lands on the bunker, the shove misses. Blaze barely survives. Twilight Dream comes out by the Malfurion right as Thrall gets cocooned, but he comes up, lightning strikes the noob and takes him down. Blaze charges back in to defend his friend, and Muradin is standing there trying to frontline tank this. They're trying to walk in the sappers, and if they get in, that's free damage on the core. And looks like they got all 3 went through. And so now it's 8, so a boss and a bell tower could end this. And they still, or boss and altar could end this, and they still holding on to this bell tower. So Lunara Hearth and back trying to heal up before this next big fight. Right now they're still on the same talent tiers, but if Winky Face can get another kill or a little bit more XP, could go up on talent tier 16 to 14 potentially, and really control the I never saw that before. New while burrowing hits the time lock and stays underground. Stukov is cocooned, and they are surrounding him, and he's just gonna walk out. Triple stunned by the Blaze, entomb onto the Muffer, and he ice blocks. Will he be able to get away? He's slowed in the lurking arm, not able to get away. Lunara's low, but she's trying to do her damage. Blaze again with another double stun. Who is that on the Blaze? Thrall with a kill onto Lunara. That 2D Moss, he has been on fire with his stuns. He is multiple man stuns throughout the game have really helped. And with that, they took the bottom altar. They got several kills and took a huge lead. There's only 4 hits left on the core. Another altar or the boss will end this game in favor of Winky Face. So with that being said, they're pushing back on this bottom lane. They want to retake the bell tower, it looks like. Oh, look at that 2-man entomb. Blaze comes in, just misses stun. Malfurion timely ice block, able to get that off. So Leoric right now has the Ominous Wraith, which is reducing the damage of the enemies he comes in contact with by 50%. So while Lunara can do a lot of damage and Junkrat can too, when you get Wraith Walk, you're cutting yourself in half. So the altar is going to spawn here in 5 seconds. Boss is going to spawn in 3 seconds. Looks like they're taking the team fight now. Lurking Arm comes out, doesn't land. Earthquake slows. Chromie is cocooned. I'm not sure if that's what you wanted, but Noob goes down. Twilight Dream comes out, gets 3, but doesn't look like it's enough. Blaze is just standing on the front line. And then Leoric pins in the Muradin with that entomb, using the wall as another barrier. And it's 2 dead. Thrall's in the back line. He's taken, but Lunara leaps over, stalls out, but it's just stalling for time, and that is GG's are called. And that is game. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Winky Face takes the first match, uh, and takes Towers of Doom. It was an interesting one. It was going back and forth there, and a couple of good team fights, and multiple stuns from Blaze with 2 3-man stuns really set apart that game. The Lunara, I take back what I said. I wasn't sure it was going to work out. Did 65,000 damage in that game. A lot of damage from the Junkrat too at 59,000. But the healing from the Stukov and the silence, 71%, 71,000 on him, just set them apart. And with that, Winky Face takes game one. This is a best of two, so we'll be back in just a second with game number 2. All right, guys, we are back. Again, this is game number 2 of a best of 2 between Winky Face and Disturbance. Winky Face captured game 1 on Towers of Doom with amazing Blaze play from their Blaze player, and just multiple stuns really setting apart that game. Looks like here on Battlefield of Eternity, Disturbance last game was second pick and banned the Phoenix. They're first banning it, looking like maybe they don't have a Phoenix player, but no matter what, they just don't want to deal with it. He's just too strong right now in the meta. Just get him out of here. A Battlefield of Eternity. Who is going to separate one team from the other? Obviously, when you talk about Battlefield of Eternity, you're talking about the race. Who's going to win the race to capture the Immortal? So you're looking at a Greymane. Val has fallen out of the meta. Artanis as an off tank can work with the Twin Blades damage on that level 1 talent. But I'm not sure where they're going to head with this. They did not like that Lunar Winky Face last game played against the Lunara by Disturbance, and I cited that. I wasn't too sure about the pick, but the Lunara did 65,000 damage in a losing effort, most damage by either team, by any hero on either team. But Winky Face says we don't want to deal with it. And there is that Vala actually from Disturbance. Not quite in the meta right now, since double support came out. Maybe we'll get a double support coming from them. But Vala very strong at racing the Immortal on taking it down using that Hungering Arrow build. So we'll see where it goes from there. So Disturbance has kind of showed a little bit of their hand on the race, on what they're thinking. What do we got? A Winky Face and where do we go from here? 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. But from Winky Face, we get the Thrall come back. The Lightning build worked last game, did a lot of damage. The Stukov, again, I think they were afraid that it might get banned if they didn't pick it now. So they grabbed the Stukov. And there's the Artanis that we talked about. Again, 2 heroes not necessarily in the meta being picked up by Disturbance. This is their map pick, I believe. No, it's not their map pick, I'm sorry. But on this map, they have a plan. They're going to race. They are just going to race on the Immortal and see where it goes. So, and then they pick up the Diablo. A lot of little nooks and crannies, a lot of walls for him to get his charge in, get his charge damage. Diablo was banned last game in the first phase, able to pick it up here on their side by Disturbance. So we'll see what the counter or what the response is from Winky Face. The tank and the damage is picked up by Disturbance. Now comes the healing. Who are they gonna ban? They have their Stukov. Do they ban the Mouth? Do they ban the Oriole potentially? Do they ban Morales? Maybe. Again, they're picking outside the meta over here on Disturbance. So I'm not sure. Do they go Lucio ban? I'm wondering if they thought the race with Lucio, the ability for him to rotate quickly, using speed boost on the team to help with that, was a reason enough to ban him. But with that, they ban him, and I would have liked to have seen a Mouth or even potentially an Ariel ban. We know that Disturbance right now is picking outside the meta, so I think it would have been worth it to do that. Right now, Disturbance is hovering over that Blaze ban, and I can't blame them for it. Blaze was very influential in the last game. A lot of choke points, a lot of 2-3 man stuns on the against them. So they're saying, let's get rid of this nuisance and make them play a different style. So now where do we go? Do we see the Malthael potentially as the offlaner? They did play a Leoric last game, a very good Leoric play last game. So I'm not sure where that's going to go with the next game, with this one. There's the Malthael. I like the Malthael play a lot better than Leoric. Now I potentially a Murd in here as the second, as the tank. I like that more than, like, say, an Anub or Johanna. How could we forget about JoJo? How could we forget about Joe? And the blind against Artanis and Vala will be very strong from Johanna. And if Diablo charges her, she just hits her D, her Iron Skin, and walks away. Says la la la, bye, see you later. So very effective against them, against the comp coming from Disturbance. We'll see how it's executed. Now, Disturbance needs their healer, their support player, and There it is, the Lily. They're going to counter their blind with, well, we have blinds of our own. And grab the Lily and grab the Jaina, who was also banned last game. So it looks like Winky Face had done their homework when they banned that Jaina and the Diablo last game. Now both available, picked up by Disturbance this game. Jaina. Jaina is there to help zone with the Blizzard. Zone with her damage. Ring of Frost will be very good as the game goes on. So we'll see where it goes from here. Lily, I expect to take out our old Jugs and sustain with the healing. Unless, I mean, they're picking Vala and Artanis on Battlefield and Eternity. You can't necessarily knock the picks just outside of the atypical meta. And Lily is a niche pick here or there. So, Water Dragon for all you fans out there of it. I doubt it though. Gonna need that sustain against a lot of burst damage or a lot of damage from the Mathael Thrall. And here comes, let's see, Junkrat. A lot of poke damage, can help zone. There was a Junkrat. Disturbance had the Junkrat last game. Did well, just weren't able to capitalize on it. So we'll see how this goes. I'm excited. I'll be honest with you. I really like the Artanis and Vala. It's old school. It's a throwback, but there's a reason why those heroes were played so much on this map. This is not, those two picks are not picks where you're saying, oh, I got to counter this. These are picks saying, we're going to play PvE, we're going to play the map, and we're going to leverage our heroes to do a lot of damage quickly and win the race. That's all they're looking for. They're looking to win the race. So we'll see how that goes. So we head into game 2. Again, on the left, we have Winky Face in blue. On the right, we have Disturbance in red. Looks like we're getting the classic 4-1 split from both teams. I suspect this Mathael is just cruising around mid just in case they flip-flop the lanes on him. But I don't see anything happening with that. Anything out of the ordinary. Loss of Hope taken by Johanna. Put some English on it. Lightning build from Thrall again. Stukov, I'd be surprised if he doesn't take the Lurking Arm. Increase his size. And there it is, amateur opponent on the Artanis. The Twin Blade attack deals 150% bonus damage to non-heroes. That includes the Immortal. Going to be awesome. The Hungering Arrow damage increase to minions, mercenaries, and monsters. That includes the Immortal by 150%. A lot of damage output on the Immortal coming from the Artanis and the Vala. So we'll see how that goes. Top lane here should be balanced. We're going to go to bottom lane though. And Diablo is about half health. The sustain from the Stukov should help, but that is not going to do it. You can't out-heal a flip into charge by the Diablo under the tower, taking shots. Now the interesting thing to remember is Stukov doesn't have direct healing, but his heal will jump from player to player, and then he can bio-kill it and get that huge burst using his D. Lily just stands there and hits Q as many times as she can, trying to get off heals as best she can using her healing brew. But she doesn't get to pick who. So if Diablo has a lower health than the Vala, it's going to the Diablo, even if she wanted to heal the Vala. Looks like they're going to fight over the siege camp here on the bottom. Diablo charges in onto the Thrall. Now he's pinned in. He is silenced. Can they get him down? Not able to. Blind coming out from Lily. The heals coming out from Lily. And the Jaina was poking from the backside, taking away some of the extra damage. Again, a lot of damage going out, but not able to finish. Lily is making work. Vala is poking from the side. But they're going to end up losing the siege camp. Winky Face takes it. So they'll get a little extra push here. A lot of low heroes. Diablo has to hearth back. Only 25 souls. Still hasn't built up into that true beefcake warrior that he wants to be. Jane is hearthing back now as well. A lot of XP going to be missed out here. Lily is low on mana, low on health. I wouldn't be surprised if she heads back soon herself. With that, they notice the hearthbacks, they notice them missing from lane, and they go take the Bruiser camp by Winky Face. And so they'll have that as the Immortal gets ready to spawn, and Lily does hearth back. But they were able to keep up with the XP advantage, with the XP. Diablo charges at Johanna. Johanna is an overall threat. She knows it. She does pop her D, but there's nobody there to capitalize. Disturbance in response does take their own Bruiser camp, so that'll push in the top lane. And the spawn is top and bottom. Winky Face right now setting up with a small defense. The Junkrat can just poke from afar using frag grenades, and it can be really annoying. Look at that, triple hit 3 heroes there with the frag grenade as it bounced off the wall. And it's not letting the Vala and the Artanis get in. Vala can poke from afar with Hungering Arrow, but the Artanis needs to get up on the Immortal. He walks in, but immediately gets stunned by the Johanna, gets pushed into the wall, just poking slowly, doing damage, but they are winning the race. Matho is just soaked top lane, so it's really a 5-on-4 here on the bottom, leading into the halftime show. Again though, look at that damage from the Junkrat, just lobbing grenade after grenade. They're all having to head back to the well. Vala's very low, Lily, Jaina, all below half health, and so they take the opportunity to do a ton of damage. Look at that race of their own. They instantly erase that deficit, but here comes the true race. Look at amateur opponent and the Hungering Arrow build, showing that this is why you pick this comp. Even though they came late to the party, we're still able to fight off the race. Diablo with the toss on the Johanna. Johanna grabs her Iron Skin and walks out scot-free. Artanis goes to the top lane to soak, while Matho does as well to counter him. Mortal will spawn to the bottom, and as long as his shield's up, he will stay at range. So they really need the Junkrat to do his poke, and there it is, shield's down. Now he goes into melee, lets the Thrall do a little bit more, and there goes the Lurking Arm to kind of zone a little bit. They push them back, but the Vala is just sustaining with damage, along with the Jaina Blizzard just raining down on top of them. The Thrall and the Johanna need to get up front, need to get up close, and if you know where they're going to be, you can easily land that Blizzard and do quite a bit of damage. So with that, both teams are now level 7. Diablo is only at 50 souls. He's not there yet, so he still hasn't quite hit that beefcake level, and if he dies, he's not going to get that instant spawn. Vala is halfway done with their Puncturing Arrow build on the Hungering Arrow, and Vault, of course, repeating our Vault, of course, refreshing the Hungering Arrow. A 3-man draw in by the Johanna, but no follow-up. The Thrall is too far away, and the Junkrat was throwing in his grenades, but it's just not enough burst. Jaina has that burst potential that I think Winky Face kind of needs. They can punch, they can do damage, they can sustain damage, but they're just not able to push it over the edge and get that kill. Multiple times this game, a lot of heroes have been below half health, but not able to finish it off. As the Immortal prepares to spawn, they're going to fight again over the Siege Camp bottom. Lurking Arm silences them as they walk through. A 2-man route by the Thrall. He goes in, but then he's standing there and just gets rained on by the Blizzard. The Siege Camp is helping out. Johanna slows and as she stuns, and is able to get another two-man root. The silenced Diablo goes down. Did not have the souls. He will have a full 18-second death timer. The Immortal has spawned. Looks like Thrall and Junkrat and Stukov are headed to the red Immortal to do some damage. At the same time, Artanis is rotating down. Sees Johanna standing there, just keeping an eye on what's going on. Jaina is going to work on taking the camp as the halftime show comes up. Looks like they're just both soaking for 10. Looks like, Disturbance wants to soak for 10. They don't want to take the fight. They don't want to have to worry about that. Jaina is very low after taking that camp. Diablo had to come in and basically save her. And with that, there's a large shield on the Immortal as they poke in. Now, this is the other thing. The Junkrat needs to get in there. He's the only real poke from a distance. Mathil keeps throwing out his mark. It's doing some damage, but it's not a lot. Not like a Vala with Hungering Arrow. So 460. Let's look at this. 460 on it, and watch this. Watch this melt. They turned around for a second to get a well, and brought it down to below 4,000. The charge in by the Diablo gets silenced, but not able to finish him off. Vala gets the kill on the Thrall. The flailing swipe over the shove, I was kind of surprised by that. Here comes the Jugs. Healing everybody, keeping them alive. Very low, but again, guys, very, very low health heroes, not able to capitalize and finish it off. And so we have an Immortal now with no shield, essentially, because the burn was so quick from the side of Disturbance that they were able to do that. And they're willing to get in here and take the fight. Johanna stuns, gets another stun. Riptire comes in, finishes off the Artanis. Now it's a 5-on-4. Can they sustain this? They have a siege camp pushing with them. Earthquake comes out by Thrall, trying to slow the Diablo. Doesn't get effective. The Frostwolf on the Diablo, the stun on the Diablo, then the bounce back from the grenade into the Frostwolf stun, and Diablo is down. And again, only at 83 on the Soulstone, not at 100. Full death timer, still not at the full strength he wants to be at. Now with a little break, let's look at some talents here. What did they take? Riptire at 10. Stukov takes the swipe over the shove. Interesting. A lot of midpoint choke points. I guess the thought is you really can't shove too far away. Flailing swipe to keep them off a point could be useful. See how it works out. Blessed Shield from the Johanna. And last rites. I've seen this being picked a lot more over Tormented Souls. Ring of Frost comes down, only hits the Thrall. Blizzard lands on the Thrall and the Stukov, actually, but not able to finish him off. Good zone. Lily uses Jugs. They're going to want to capitalize this. Then great swap onto the Johanna. Apocalypse comes out, doesn't land on anybody, and everybody back to their corners. Everybody back to their corners. A lot of damage put out, but no kills. Rain of Vengeance and the Suppression Pulse coming out of Vala and Artanis respectively. So with that, 13 talent tier for Winky Face. They are a 1 level lead over Disturbance as they're rotating to set up for the Immortal, which spawns here in 2 seconds. Diablo gets his 100 soul zones, so he will have that instant res should he die, but if he does, he loses all of that health bonus that he has. So now the race is on again. Johanna goes in with the blind, which actually slows down quite a bit, but again, look at the values. About even from both teams, even though Disturbance started late, and Disturbance gets the start they wanted, makes them have to come into it. Earthquake, Jugs retired. The suppression pulse comes out right as he dies. Ring of Frost gets 4, but not able to capitalize because Johanna's in the backline just terrorizing. There now goes the Matthew. Thrall takes out the Diablo. He'll respawn here in a second with no souls. But I'm not sure they're going to want to take this. It's a 4-on-4, but the Rain of Vengeance misses on the Johanna. She silences, or blinds onto 3. The Lurking Arm's going to slow them down. Diablo can't charge in. He's rooted now. And they're trying to get in there to poke, but they just can't do much of anything against that. So with that, now we're going to have an Immortal spawning top lane, half shield, and should have a strong push. Junkrat is going bottom to clear the wave. Should give a little more of an XP lead as well. That's a large wave, I should say. And let's go to the top lane where Lily gets isolated and is taken down. And the ice block from Jaina, it just delays the inevitable. She was done at that point. And the Immortal stuns the Diablo as it goes by, and then he gets rooted again, and he was done. The fort is down. Junkrat is hopping back in, literally using the flag grenades to get across the map. And this Immortal's still pretty healthy. The rooted silence Artanis, can they get him? No, he's able to get out, but that was tough. Lily has to come in using jugs. They're trying to save this keep, trying to push him back, but I'm not sure if they're able to. Jaina is spawned, but she's sitting in base. I don't know if she's back in the game. Artanis is now down, so it's back to 5-on-4. Jaina is now responding, and the Immortal has died. Ring of Frost comes down. It lands on the Jaina, who gets pushed out of it by the Diablo, who apocs, but Last Rites is going to finish him off. 34 seconds on the respawn. Artanis is still down. The Jaina tries to dish some damage out on the Thrall, but the Thrall turns around, lands the Wolf, gets the hammer off, and she is toast. They are going on the Lily. She's silent. She's dead. And Artanis is back in. This staggered death is just gonna end. I think gonna end this game. The flailing swipe comes out. The Stukov goes down. That's their healer. Now it's 5-on-1, but the Diablo is coming back up in 1 second, and the GG is called. I just think that, yeah, they just can't. They can't finish it. So with that, Winky Face takes both games. There's a 2-0 victory from both of them, and well fought series, 17-14, 16 kills to 4 in the end at a 15-minute game. It was close early. They tried the comp to race the Immortal, but when it came time to the team fight, just couldn't execute. And with that, Winky Face gets the win. And with that, I say GG's to both teams. Thank you both for their play, and that is going to end this match for today. I don't think I have another stream later tonight. I might co-cast with somebody else, so keep an eye out on the stream. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for participating, enjoying the NGS Season 4, and looking forward to the next game.